Hello, potato. So after a week of Heinz canned products, I feel it's time to take a break and do something a little more normal. So I figured, why not do ramen? This is Nongshim's premium noodle soup tonkotsu ramen. And don't worry, it's not going to look anything like the picture. That's a serving suggestion. Well, I do have some ham in the fridge, and I could soft boil up some eggs. I don't have any. It looks like maybe some pickled radish there. I don't have any fish cake yet. I could open a can of corn, I suppose. I think it shows corn on the side here. Yeah. But we won't be doing that. We're going to try it as packaged. So let's get the water going. Because while it does show on here that it microwaves in 4 minutes, it actually also has instructions for just putting it in water for 4 minutes. So we're going to do that, because that's easier. So while the water heats up, let's take a look at this. It's 450 calories for the container, which is a good-sized meal, I think, for like a lunch or something. But if you add other things like the pork and the egg, it's of course going to get more calorific. Let's take the bad part. Let's look at the salt. Yeah, 67% of your daily sodium in this. So probably not going to drink that broth, because that's where most of that sodium is going to end up being. Unless it's a really good broth, which, you know, it says it's going to have, I think this is the one that has a rich pork broth. Yeah, rich pork broth. So, I mean, I guess if it's really rich, maybe we'll still drink it. Oh, there it is. On the picture of the pig. Rich pork broth. Maybe that's because his name is Rich. It's Rich, the pie of the pig. It's made from rich, and it's pork broth. It's rich pork broth. Let's see, got any protein in here? 8 grams. Not nothing. Not great. 23% of your daily fat, including 35% of your daily saturated fat. So that's good. But hey, no trans fat. So I guess we'll take what we can get. Let's crack it open. Because you're supposed to remove the soup base, which, yeah, that's your basic powdered soup base. And your spicy packet, which of course will make it taste better. I've had Nongshim stuff before. I want to say I've had some of the... I think I've done some Nongshim stuff on here before. But I know I've had, I think, some udon. They had some of that kind of semi-fresh udon where it was like, you know, not dried out in the bowl. It was a whole thing. I think I did some Nongshim. I think I did Nongshim during Just Add Water Week, didn't I? Didn't we do a Nongshim thing there? I don't remember, and I can't be bothered to look. So the water's at the boil. Of course, there's our noodles. And it's got some little flaky bits in there. I'm guessing it's a green onion. Does it say? Oh, that is way too many ingredients. I don't care enough. So let's add the water, and we'll start the timer. Because as you let it go for 4 minutes, then you add the soup broth and the spicy packet. We'll add the soup broth first, just so we can try it out. But you don't drain this one or anything, so that's nice. Alright, so we filled up to the fill line. Just put those on there to weight it down. And we'll start our timer. And I will see you on the other end of it. Stand up. Suppose I should start it. There we go. Yep, we'll let our soup bloom out. And I will see you in 3 minutes and 48 seconds. That's our 4 minutes up. So now I believe we just remove the lid and add the flavor, right? 4 minutes. And yep, pour water. Close 4 minutes, add soup base. It doesn't say take the lid off. Should I just pour the soup base on top of it, or should I use my head? I'll use my head. That's... Alright, so that looks like it's all pretty well hydrated. Let's find out for sure. Yep. Got a lot of space. One other thing about this container, and I don't know that you can really tell, but if you look down at the very bottom, there's that little lip there. This is actually a little insulated, so you can carry it around a little bit while you eat. All right, so let's add the soup base and we'll try it, and then we'll add the rest of the flavor. Rip it open. Take a look at it. Yep, it's a beige powder. Give it a taste. Yep, that is extremely salty, but it does actually have a lot of pork flavor to it. So let's see what happens when you add this salt lick of a soup base to our noodles. I picked these up at, I think, Costco. That's where I've gotten the udon ones from before as well. And they came in like a 6-pack. It does look like it's going to be it's certainly a cloudier broth than what you usually see from these things. It looks kind of like the Vita ramen, but without any of the nutrition and with like 10 times the salt. All right, we've got the soup base mixed in. Let's try it with that first. Then we'll add the hot spicy stuff. Let's get a little bit of broth in there. So you may have this a little cloudy. Cloudier than your average ramen broth. Ramen broth, I can speak. It does smell quite good. And yeah, it's got the saltiness. Wow, it's so salty it actually burns a little bit. And that's not the heat, it's like actually the salt. It's got the saltiness of like normal, like 79-cent ramen, but it has a lot more flavor. Kind of thinking I'm going to wish that they had just made it with less salt. Alright, let's get some of the noodles with it. Yep. On the spoon, you. Alright, there's some broth in there. There's some noodles in there. Let's give it a try. Yeah, the flavor on that is quite good. I like it. I wish it wasn't so salty, actually. Because it doesn't need it. I think it has enough flavor in there that you really don't need that extra salt. That is a lot of red stuff. Red means scary, y'all. Where is there a place to... Oh, here's a place to open it. Okay. Still. Honestly, flavor-wise, this probably doesn't need the spice. I wonder how much, if any, salt this adds. Ooh, it's like gritty, too. Look at that. That's like not just oil. There's stuff in that oil. There's a powder in there. Let's try that on its own. Probably going to stain my fingers. I'm getting it more in my nose than my mouth. It's starting to bloom a little slowly in my mouth. I guess ultimately, well, it looks like a big packet of stuff. When you add it to this much liquid, it really isn't. But I wonder if maybe, because I don't get a huge amount of heat just from the oil on its own. But you know, sometimes you mix it with the water and the salt and stuff, you get a little difference. Let's try the broth now. Now that it's a little red and cloudy. See some oil floating on the top there. There you go, see? All right, let's try it on its own. It seems to enhance the little bit of the burn I felt in the back of my throat from what at least I still think is the salt in the ramen base, the ramen soup base. The heat seems to kind of add to that because it's much more. It's not on my tongue. It's completely in the back of my throat. Maybe a little tiny bit on my lips. Let's try with some noodles. See if that makes a difference. Well, it definitely tastes good. I do like it. I might make it with like less of the powder in the future just because I want to cut down on that salt a little bit, but the heat isn't long lasting. I mean, as I eat more of it, that might change, especially on the lips. I think it'll build up. But it's really all in the back of my throat. None of it's on my tongue, which is interesting. I can feel it at the back of my throat, but my tongue isn't burning. My lips, I can feel heat on my lips, especially on the underside of my upper lip, more than on my lower lip. And maybe it's because, you know, I used a spoon, so my lower lip didn't get as much of it. But yeah, it's mostly in the back of the throat. It's already fading. I'm sure it'll build up as I eat the rest of this. But it doesn't really need the heat as far as the flavor goes. The soup packet, the rich pork broth, is actually pretty rich. I just really wish it wasn't so salty. And that's going to keep me from giving this kind of a higher rating than I otherwise would. But I like it. We may get some more of these. And I mean, it's good even without the heat. I mean, the heat's always a plus for me. But it's not, it doesn't need so much salt. I would definitely, if I were Nongshim, I would cut that salt maybe in half. You have enough flavor in the pork, I think, that you really don't need it. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for today. That's all the time we have. I'm going to go finish my ramen before it gets cold, and then we'll edit this and maybe put this up. I hope you found this interesting. Again, if you're interested in this, I believe we picked it up at Costco. I'm sure you can get it at other places as well. It's a premium noodle soup, so it wasn't like 79 cents a packet. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was on special for like $8 for a 6-pack, which is on the upper end of ramen pricing when you're talking about kind of just buying it in an American store, I think. When you're buying it in an import store, well, yeah, that's more normal for there. But I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give the video a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I will see you in the next video.